I enjoy slice of life anime, so I was really intrigued with Calico, which appears to be a slice of life community sim game. But it comes packed with hundreds of cats for you to basically adopt, pet, purr, and then throw a magic potion on to make them grow big and ride them. I mean, what's not to love? Calico, which came out towards the end of last year, really is a laid-back, chilled-out, stress-free, vibing type experience, I guess. You arrive on this island that is full of cats, but has had some kind of neglect over time. The different inhabitants all run different shops, which allow you to rebuild back up a cafe that used to be owned by your grandmother, I believe. And so you've kind of come along to look after it and restore it and bring it back to its former glory. The whole game runs on a clock system, around a day of a week, and all of the inhabitants have their own kind of thing that they're doing as they go around. Most of them don't go too far, but if you chat to them and they become your friends, they will stop by at your cafe, where you can also magically turn into a tiny person in your kitchen and throw food into a bowl and make cakes. Oh yes, this cafe is literally Alice in Wonderland gone a little bit nuts. The actual game itself, though, as implied by this day in the life community sim, which is the tagline that Whitehorn Digital, the publishers, have given it, is all about just taking things at your own time, at your own pace, and occasionally bumping into people on their schedule, and you can complete tasks as and when you feel like it, which is great. To some degree, because it means that you don't feel time pressured or stress pressured into anything that's going on. And that's something that I started to get very annoyed with, say, Summer in Mara, where I felt like there was lots of pressure, even though there wasn't any, which is a game that has a very similar vibe to Calico. The idea here is that you keep on getting loads and loads of errands from all the different people in the town, but they all reward you, basically, with things that you can then stick in your cafe, or they then become patrons of your cafe, which then generates cash for you to then use to buy in their shops. So it's a nice cyclical economy that you're creating. As you go around the island, different things will start to take place and open up the island wider for you. So then you start to see the seaside city. There's a mountainous area as well. Eventually the beach will become available to you too. And as you go around, there are a couple of hundred, I think, different cats. There's dogs, there's birds, there's deer, polar bears, and you can just go up and pet them. And it's so cute. And there is a pick up and shake button. Oh yes, you can shake that pussy all day long. It's all good. And the idea with that is that you can then basically befriend all of these cats and then you can command them. So you can either have them as part of your little clan and they'll follow you around, and you can have up to 3 different animals. I befriended a dog. I'm more of a dog person than a cat person. I know, sorry. But they essentially become big transporting things, because when you meet the alchemist and she can create potions for you, you can make one that makes them big. And in doing that, you can basically hop on and ride them around. So I had fun with a snow deer, a polar bear, a dog, a cat. Everything that has 4 legs basically becomes something that you can then ride on to traverse around the island within Calico faster than what it is by walking. And you'll need that because this game is essentially Fetch Quest the game, Chill Out Cat Edition. So again, all of these types of experiences do come down to basically being fetch quests or reaching a certain amount of level by money or prestige by doing something. But with Calico, it's all just around completing fetch quests and then going back to the person that gave it to you so that you can then collect the goods. It's quite nice. I really like the fact that you can customize your own character. I like the fact that it's also a really open and diverse world. So you have the lesbian couple up on the hill that you help out with dates. There's some non-binary people in here. Everyone's got someone to represent themselves somewhere along the line. And no one gives a hoot, which is lovely. Everyone's just living and chilling their life as it should be without any drama. And there is no drama in Calico, almost to the point where you kind of think, oh, well, this is cute and it's a nice stress-free, relaxed environment, but because the stakes are just so low, it might be too low for some people to really feel tons of investment in the game itself. There are a couple of things that are rough around the edges with Calico that I just wanted to mention. Firstly, the building of your cafe lets you go into like furniture mode and then back into person mode again. Sometimes that would cause me some issues where I'd have to kind of muck about with the menus to get the game to be responsive for me again. I also had some issues with graphical problems, and that's because, and I'm still not sold on it, this kind of watercolour aesthetic, when you're kind of zooming in and out or going up close, things pop in and out awkwardly, and this really comes into the fore when you're trying to design your cafe, because the camera kind of ends up half in the roof and so you're having to wrestle with the camera specifically in the cafe, but then also when, say, you're up in the mountain ranges, sometimes it would get kind of stuck in the wrong bit, or I'd get like a wall of watercolour white from the snow, and I was like, So sometimes you do have to wrestle with the camera to get it to do what you want, and I wish that there was some more kind of refinement and quality of life features around that kind of thing. However, if you are looking for something that is just chilled out and relaxed, you are someone who actively looks for diversity, even though I fall into diversity categories, I personally don't. It's still nice to have it there, but I don't automatically think, I must have diversity in my games. I just take the story at face value personally. So I think this will be something that will appeal much more to other people than it did to me. And so long as you enjoy fetch quests, what Calico does do compared to what my main annoyance with Summer and Mara was, and to some extent Dayland as well, and I kind of group these three together because they are structured in the exact same way, except instead of you looking after vegetables, you're building a cafe. With Summer and Mara, and Dayland to a lesser extent, all of the NPCs were just ordering you around, and I felt actually had really terrible personalities and were jerks. The beauty of Calico is that the characters, although they're not exactly like well-rounded three-dimensional people, they seem genuinely nice and supportive and welcoming you to the community. And there's lots of references, particularly earlier in the game, where you've only just arrived on the island and they want to make you feel welcomed. And so it does feel like a community that works together, and that helps to mask some of the fetch questiness of Calico, because that is all that you'll be doing for the... I mean, I didn't spend too long sitting there going, I just want to chill out in the world. I wanted to go around and explore and find everything and basically build up a massive collection of cats and dogs, of which Calico lets you do, because you can play it in your own way. I had got to like the end of like a 5-hour stint and felt like I was right near the end of the story mode for this review. So I felt like I'd had my feel of Calico, but you could be in here coming back time and time again, just chilling out with some of your favourite characters. I don't think they'll say too much extra for you, but the fact that they have their own weekly schedule, they will wander around the map, the fact that it does feel like a living community is something that I think Calico should be proud of. So yeah, I'd like to see this game kind of get a little bit more polish in the future. If there was ever a Calico 2, I think having this on a wider scale, but having much more interconnected, not genealogy, but just a much more meshed community structure would be even more impressive. Go grab those cats, make them big, and then ride them around everywhere. That is basically the main selling point of this game. A written review will be over on highplanegames.com. I hope this review has kind of helped you understand whether or not this game is for you or isn't for you. I feel like it's going to be Marmite for some people because of its cutesy nature and laid-back vibe. But if that's the kind of thing that gels with you, this is one of the better games of that genre. And for that kind of core audience, I would recommend Calico. I think for everyone else that's coming in looking for action or something beyond a fetch quest free for all, I think you'd be disappointed. So yeah, written review over on higherplayinggames.com. Till then, you guys take care. Bye! Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/higherplane-network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.